Evening, lovelies of the interweb land. How are you doing? Welcome to Raving with Rua here, episode number 5. You're all very welcome. 2 days before Christmas, hard to believe. But yes, sure, we're nearly there. It's lovely to see you all. I'm talking tonight with a great friend. He's down there in Leon, called Davóg Rynne, the boy from the banner, up the banner. Davóg is a great singer-songwriter. He's a poet. He's a great activist. He works with refugees. He's a great man for stage, and I'm sure he has lots of great stories to tell. And I hope he will. If you're watching on YouTube, which I hope you are, as always, you can please hit that subscribe button for me. That helps the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is called Songs from the Rua Room. If you want to look it up, it's a singer-songwriter channel dedicated to singer-songwriters from Belgium and beyond, from all over the world, really. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to donate or help the show along, the tip jar is open there. Please feel free to drop a few shekels in there to the old PayPal account if you want to do that. So let's see. We have a couple of live viewers. It's great. I think Davóg is ready. Are you over there, Davóg? Let's see if he's there. I'm going to click a couple of buttons, see what happens. Oh, it is. On the banner.
Good. I am of yesteryear. I am neither man nor woman, nor I am both. I am of the earthy field of ancient wisdom. I am the ploughman of the sacred soil, sowing the seeds of hope. My skin is both thick and thin, alive and dead. It holds a song, and every pore has a musical note. Scars are my crescendos. I am the wild goat on the mountain. I see you when you don't see me. I sing where you won't find me. Hidden in the caves of my consciousness, I nurse the spark of light. I know you wait for me to be gone, for my milk to no longer flow, to stop being fertile and pungent. But my skin is both hot and cold, golden now and blue later on. So wipe me down with your tears. I ask for them now, but you never can, so I'll ask for them later. And the fireside will always need a song. So notice me then, and the braver I will sing. I am the truth sayer, the seeker of truths. I am the ghosts of times past but never forgotten. I am the key to this insanity, so that we, yes we may at last be free.
You never lashed it by. How are you?
Well, there you are, boy. How's it going?
And a happy Christmas to you. It's great to see you.
This is a funny old medium here, isn't it? Hello, everybody.
It is. Everyone, we have a few viewers, of course. Annageen is here, and her mum down.
Hey, Annageen.
Yeah, there she is.
See you there.
Nice. Thanks for joining in. And Jack Rabbit is looking forward to the stories and songs. The Jack. They never let me down. Those two. Fair play to them. How are you doing, guys? Welcome. Thanks for joining live here on the Rua Room. How are you keeping, sir?
I'm glad. You have the Christmas tree. It's looking beautiful altogether.
Thanks very much. Yeah, not my doing, but it does. It looks great. It looks great.
It looks very good. Very
cozy, good backdrop.
Nice one.
And Ernesto is here wearing his Christmas hat as well. He just relocated over here, so he's.
Ernie.
Ernie, come here to me. You're welcome back off the road. You just finished the tour.
I just finished the tour. I literally got off the tour from my last tour from Belgium and Holland and I went straight on tour. Like 4 days later, I was on tour with this dance show that I do from time to time. I've been doing it like since 2014. I kind of fill in for people, like, you know, there's not a full-time one, but it's quite enjoyable when I'm doing it.
Sure.
It's mad. It's fucking mad.
Is it?
It's
Is it a
one of
big
the
crew?
15 days. I think we did 20 shows in 50 days, something
Oh,
like that.
wow, that's
21
fairly
shows in
intense.
15 days.
Okay.
You're doing two shows a day.
Yeah.
You're also doing about 5,000 kilometers. So it's literally bus venue hotel, bus venue hotel.
I should tell the listeners that Davóg is based down near Lyon in France.
That's right.
You've been there a long time, have you?
I've been over out in France now. I've been here 20 years nearly. Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Came out here in 2001. Came out in
Oh.
2001. Fell madly in love with this Faz. You know yourself. The ever romantics. Fell madly in love with a French lady, Sophie, my darling wife, who I married in 2004. And we had twin girls in 2007, and Janie Mac alive. All of a sudden, it's 2020 almost.
I know.
And you know, it is how fast it goes. And I see my now teenage daughters.
Does that make you feel old?
It's quite an eye opener when you come back from tour and you don't expect your little girls to come running into your arms, but you kind of, you know, it's not that anymore.
It's not that anymore. No,
it's not that anymore. Like, you're back, are you? Pecking the cheek. No.
Tell me a little bit about that opening song you did there.
This is it's two poems basically. As you mentioned earlier on, I loved a bit of poetry. I wouldn't quite go as far as now to call myself a poet. I dabble into it, but what I do love is interpreting other people's poems. Now, in this poem, there are two poems. It's basically a merging of my poem "Seeds of Hope," which I wrote in 2018, last year, and another poem by a woman called Sulik. Sulik is based in. She's a wonderful fairy queen. My fairy queen, I call her. She's based up in Donegal. She's an American lady based up in Donegal, and she's a wonderful poet. And she wrote the other poem, which is called "Spark of Light." And I just merged the two basically. One day I just happened to be sitting there. Both poems are sitting in front of me, and as you kind of go, you kind of just with the power on, you kind of look at the other ones. Says, actually, you know what? They go well together.
Yeah, they do go well together. And are they both on your Seeds of Hope album? Or
no, one of them is.
No,
Seeds of Hope is.
Seeds of Hope is.
There's a nice tie into the Seeds of Hope album. The Seeds of Hope album, which is not quite released yet. I'm still working on it. I've been doing fundraisings all year to try and get enough funds to get it up and running.
But it's out digitally, Davóg, is that correct?
It is. It's out digitally, but honestly, I ain't seen much from that.
No, of course. Your website, is that correct? I'm going to show it up on the screen. Yeah, so they can get more information about what you're doing and
you get more from me there. Also from my Facebook page. I'm quite active on Facebook. I'm in the process of updating my web page, which has been needed to be done for at least 2 or 3 years, and it's just always been put in the back burner as these things go.
I know how it goes. And I wanted to so you're gonna crowdfund to make this album a physical thing. That's what.
Yeah.
Because I saw a live stream you did there. Was it last month where you were on and you did the same? You did a live stream and you were crowdfunding.
I did a live stream thing, and that was thank you indeed for your inspiration there. You were one of the first people I saw doing the live stream thing, and it is a very interesting medium. You do feel like a little bit of an idiot sitting in front of the wall, just talking away to yourself, singing away to yourself, laughing away to yourself.
Looking at yourself on a computer screen, yeah.
Looking at yourself on a computer screen, but once you kind of get over that, it is a very interesting medium. And I think viewers also find it interesting because it lends to a certain intimacy that we don't really have on stage gigs, you know, because you are I'm sitting in my office here now, my cave as I like to call it, which is under the house, and it's interesting. I'm certainly going to try it again for the poetry and be doing more.
It is. I think if people kind of have an interest in what you're doing, you know, like tonight, they'll come in. Some will watch live, some will only watch the replay. What I like about stuff like this is that you know, you can throw up comments from people, you know, and it's really nice like that. You know, it's quite, as you said, intimate. It's, you know,
Absolutely,
people are it feels like people are almost in the room with you,
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
and it's really nice thing to do. This is for me, this is streaming on a thing called StreamYard, and my first time to try it, but it's great because as we'll see later on, if all going to plan, I'll be able to actually kind of a share screen as well. I'll be able to play some of your videos
fantastic.
because the sound doesn't come across as well as it could through the interweb. You know, it
Yeah,
can be a little bit broken. So
sure.
I'm gonna try later on to play a couple of your videos to see
Okay,
if they stream as well, and it just gives people
lovely.
you know, an idea of what you kind of do when you have good sound. And
Welcome into my little world.
yeah,
Absolutely,
absolutely.
it's a bit like a radio interview with yeah.
We,
It's a mix of lots of different things. No, very very interesting. You know.
Tisa, thanks for being here. I don't know if I said that at the start, but I appreciate your time, taking time out. I know it's a busy time there with Santi coming and all that, and
Not really, not
not
really.
really, no.
I was trying
Not
to.
to you anyway.
I'll tell you. Here's a funny story. I was all ready to do the Christmas tree. Well, this was my plan for the Christmas tree this year. I was kind of on a bit of a let's not kill trees to put up a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Let's go the kind of Greta route and not kill trees. Let's just maybe take branches of trees, because
Okay.
trees will get over that. Like, you know, they will continue to live without a branch missing. So I come home anyway, and I know I mentioned this to my wife on the telephone, and I can tell that she obviously talked to my daughters and said, "This is Papa's idea." And so I
Great.
came home anyway. Long story short, there was a Christmas tree already up.
They weren't waiting for you.
No, they're like, okay, he's coming. And literally the day before I came home, I got the
And
tree.
man, oh man,
So I
fantastic.
was slagging them about it and saying, "You
Yeah,
kill a
yeah, yeah.
tree for."
Are you hanging? You're hanging around there for Christmas, Davo, or are you heading
Yeah,
back to
we're
the?
hanging
You
here
are.
for the next couple of days.
Mm.
My wife, who works in the theatre, just finished her season, or went, which is off now for the next couple of weeks, next 2 weeks, I think. So she's quite busy. She works as a costume maker in a theatre, so
Wow.
her theatre lifestyle is quite busy. So she's back now, and we're heading up to my cousin, my cousin who lives up in the Jura, up in
Wow.
the Jura Mountains,
And
Andrew.
yeah,
And heading up to him and his wife and his daughter for like after Christmas, Stephen's Day kind of a thing for a couple of days.
lovely, lovely, lovely. And she's the lady that, you know, you have this. We're going to talk a little bit about this Gangani character. She's was behind sort of making this costume for you. You have a
Yeah,
wonderful.
certainly,
Tell me
absolutely.
a bit
She's
about
actually
Gangani. This character
um
that this mad hoor that comes out.
Gangani's a bit of a mad whore, all right, Jay. He kind of came upon me. Um, well, I was going up and down to Calais a lot, and I was seeing a lot of kind of not very nice things up in Calais. And
Indeed.
Gangani started to come out there, really, to be honest with you. The character of Gangani started to come out because I suppose I kind of needed some sort of a stage persona to express myself.
Yes.
Maybe it was that. Maybe I needed some sort of a wildness to come out that wouldn't my own personality, my own me wouldn't allow it to happen. So I need to develop somebody to let out some of these emotions that I was being confronted with. Let's put it to you like that.
Sure.
And all the poetry started to kick in there as well. I was working very closely to a couple of other poets who were involved, not only refugees, but also with homeless crisis. And I started to realize how poetry is tied into crisis. How people who are in crisis, be they personal crisis or be they society crisis, that writing down words, be they songs or poems, can help.
Because it has a kind of a cathartic
Yeah, it can
thing
help
that
the
happens.
person.
It's true. Yes.
It can putting things down on paper sometimes. You know the way you bottle things in, you bottle things in, you bottle things in.
That's right.
Speaking is one way, but putting down words on paper is another way of just releasing that tension. And that's what I found with writing poetry and with Gangani, the character himself. It allowed me to go to places that my own self wouldn't.
Yes. Well put. Indeed. So it's
And
kind of a,
I'm holding on to him because I'm really enjoying
yeah,
working with him.
I think your audience do too. He's an alter ego, you know. He's another
Yeah,
personality,
absolutely.
and yeah,
And he comes out in different. He can come out in different versions as well. There can be a kind of a low key kind of a version of him, and he can be full blown up, full of costume, and in street theatre or in festivals,
yeah,
as I was doing
indeed,
last
yeah.
summer.
I
So
have
he's
a
quite versatile. He could be for kids as well. He could be a bit scary for the kids, but it's okay. Kids are okay. It's okay to be scared. Like, you know,
oh,
once they kind of get used to me, once I play them an old tune and the tin whistle, then they'll calm down.
do you feel like doing a whistle tune, or is that not on the agenda?
It wasn't on the agenda, but sure, I have one with me.
Come on, give us a blast. Warm her up. I love the old tunes you play on this. Yeah, just like your daddy. His daddy is great. Tell me quickly, just a brief,
That's right.
just about
Davóg Rynne.
where you
My
Davóg.
father would have taught me how to play this at the age of 6 or 7. He would have been the first one to stick a whistle in me. It was very kind of common in those days, like, you
Of
know,
course, yeah, we
to
all
see
had
if
to
a
do a
child
little.
has interest in music for a
Yeah,
start. You give them the cheapest instrument there is.
yeah.
You're not going to start them off in a fucking
No,
€3,000 pair of
flute
pipes.
or anything. No, you're not.
You know. So the
Right,
tin
I'll
whistle.
leave it to you. Go for it.
Right, you put me on the spot now, right?
I did you? On the banner. The mighty Davóg Rynne there, folks. That not only the whistle, but the low whistle. It takes some blowing to get a tune out
It
of
does,
that.
and
I
I tell
tried
you
it.
something. I stopped smoking this time last year, 14 months ago, exactly.
Congratulations.
And for years, literally since my teenage years, because I smoked, I could not play. Certainly not that tune. Even a slow air would be kind of difficult. And it's only since I've regained the power of my lungs and being a non-smoker for 14 months.
Wow, so it came right back.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit more later on about your family and growing up in County Clare and stuff like that. But you played one of your songs for me in the RWR room, in the official playlist. Their songs in the RWR room, and that was last summer, or was it last?
It was.
I think it was
last spring. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I have it lined up here, and I'd like to play "Talk to Me" because I really like that song. Just give me a little brief background into what inspired it, or where it came from.
Oh, what would have inspired it? It goes back into the history of the family. It goes back into the history of friends that I would have known on the streets. Basically, two people would be the main inspirers. My grand uncle. He died on the streets of London, and my grandmother would have always talked about that, and would have felt very strongly about homelessness, the issue of homelessness, and would have always stopped to help somebody who's in difficulty on the streets. Years later, I knew this guy. Dick was his name. He was a street seller in Dublin. He was a really good friend of mine, and one or two of the verses in the song are very much dedicated to him because he had two children. and his wife just couldn't take his drinking anymore, so she left him. And obviously, with that, he lost not only his wife but his 2 children. And he really, I just remember, he really suffered because of that, and it, yeah, poor old Dick. So that's, yeah, so it's a kind of a homage is the French word for it. Homage,
yes,
on Dick and homeless people in general is what the song is about. It's just to
see. That's a sad thing to see, of course, when that happens to someone, and unfortunately, happening more and more in our home country these days.
Indeed,
Davóg, and all over the world. But I have the song lined up. Let me just see if I all go on to plan. If it will play here. It's called Talk to Me, and there you are. And let me give it a roll, and hopefully we'll have some audio on it as well. And okay, I'll come back to you in a few minutes, folks.
All right.
Davóg Rynne.
Sitting on the bridge with an outstretched hand, I'm sitting on the bridge with an outstretched hand. I'm waiting for something to eat. I'm hoping for something to eat. I lost my wife and children about 5 years ago. I lost my wife and children about 5 years ago. She couldn't take my drinking anymore. She wouldn't take my drinking anymore. Sometimes I feel so much shame. Sometimes I feel so much shame. What must my children think of me? What must my children think of me? Sitting on the bridge with an outstretched hand. Sitting on the bridge with an outstretched hand. I'm waiting for something to eat. I'm hoping for something to eat. I get so lonesome sometimes I could scream. I get so lonely sometimes I could scream. Why won't anybody talk to me? Why won't anybody talk to me? Sitting on the bridge with an outstretched hand. I'm sitting on the bridge with an outstretched hand. I'm waiting for
There you go, folks. The brilliant Davóg Rynne and a great song. You don't mind me saying, talk to me. That's a dinger, mate. And well done on that. I have your mic muted. Well done on that. There, I was just saying, had a great song.
Thanks very much,
And
Donny.
as Jack Rabbit nailed it on the head there when he said that. Okay, I love talking. Such a raw emotion gets me every time. Thanks for the comment, Jack. Great, and one from Lever there as well. Your friend down in Belgium, you're playing this lady's house.
That's right.
In January, at the end of
on the 24th, I think.
24th of January.
Yeah, I've got two house concerts in Belgium in January that's coming up. I still have dates available, folks. If any of you want to book me, book away. I have a house concert on the 22nd and on the 24th. One of the house concerts is in Caesarskampf. That's the name of the place, Caesarskampf, at Eva's place, and the other one is in Levy's place there.
Yes.
So I have the 23rd is free, the 25th is free. I have a school concert on the Monday of the 20th. Can't remember exactly where. But yeah, so it's a kind of there's not so many gigs on this tour. I want to meet people as well. Every time I go to Belgium, it's a bit too fast, and I need to just hook up with people and take my time a little bit.
Understandable.
So, you know.
Absolutely understandable, and I hope to see you in person myself around that
time.
Oh,
absolutely. Oh, there's no doubt.
We'll have another cup of tea. We certainly will. I was going to ask you, well, I'm queuing up the next song here. I was going to ask you, I mean, for people who don't know Davóg Rynne, you might be tuning in and discovering Davóg Rynne for the first time. Davóg is, of course, the nephew of the famous Moores down there, Christy Moore and Luca Bloom, Barry Moore. And what was that like growing up? You all grew up in Kildare around that same area, did you? What was it like?
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up in Kildare up until I was born in Prosperous. We left Prosperous. My family left Prosperous in 1978. We moved to County Clare, which kind of changed a lot of things in our lives. Primarily, it changed we had access to traditional Irish music, which was wonderful. Which is where I started to pick up the tin whistle and pick up the music and get involved in the music. I loved it. Growing up in the Moore household, there was always music, always crack in our house.
I can imagine, and we can't not mention the mammy, Anne Rynne, the brilliant woman. Your mother started singing and playing guitar and writing songs at the tender age of 68, if I'm not mistaken.
She did. There's a bit of a story there, all right, Donny. Mammy, well, she didn't really start singing, but she was always a shy, reluctant singer, always just shy. Primarily it was shyness and just a bit intimidated by the whole thing. So when she did sing, it was always quite a tense affair for her. And she came over to France when I started making music out here myself and started getting involved in the whole music scene. She came out here a couple of times, and it took off the pressure of her being kind of always associated to be Christy Moore's sister, or nobody knew her out here. And she didn't know anybody either. So that kind of pressure was taken off. And up she goes and sings loads of songs and no bothering her and gets rid of all the nerves and goes back to Ireland and says to Barry, I think, at some stage, says, I want to play the ukulele. And Barry says, no, we'll have none of that, and gives her a guitar and says, off you go now and learn the guitar. And yes, she was 66 when she started playing the guitar. Started doing the G chord, the C chord, was at 66 years of age. She brought out her first album at 68. And she's just this year at 71 brought out her second album. Now, her second album, she wrote all the songs, she wrote all the music. And there she is now touring around Ireland like nobody's business. God almighty.
It's just incredible. Indeed, yeah. The way she just kind of, like, literally an overnight success, but of course been doing it for many years.
Yeah, but just
inspirational to see and to watch.
Yeah.
And I hope she gets to see the stream, and she's very proud of you too. I recorded your mum for this show in County Clare.
That's right.
And it was great. My first time to meet her, of course, but she just enjoyed it so much. She had said she had a lovely time, and I had embarrassed her previously to emailing her saying, you know, I know I met your son out here, and you must be very proud. And she said, "Ah, stop." She said, "Stop, stop." But she's a lovely, lovely woman, and
She's
yeah,
mighty bit of stuff.
and long may she sing, long may she run.
Yeah,
Have you another little live thing for us there? Would you have another
I do.
something,
I
something?
wanted to do something because seeing that it's Midsummer's Night, or Midsummer's Night to see, with Midwinter's Night. Jesus
Winter
Christ.
even, yeah.
Get it right, will you?
Sure.
The shortest day and the longest night of the year. It's midwinter. I'm going to read you a piece that I want to. I'm going to read you a piece on
Wonderful.
that. The restraints of winter have brought us rest and given us time for reflection, and the incubation of ideas and dreams. Here in the stillness of the solstice, we pause and become aware of our visions and the seeds of our future growth, waiting for birth. At the winter solstice, the darkness reaches its height and the waning cycle of the sun stops. From now on, the days will become longer and the warmth and outer growth will return to us and to the earth. Here, we celebrate the return of the sun, give birth to our visions and name our dreams, our solstice resolutions or solstice aspirations, which will grow with the increasing light. The way is now open for the rebirth of our active selves. Since the beginning of time, we have gathered in this season to celebrate the rebirth of the sun. On the winter solstice, the darkest of nights, the goddess becomes the great mother and once again gives birth to the sun and the new yearly cycle, bringing new light and hope to all on earth. On the longest night of winter and the dark night of our souls, there springs the new spark of hope, the sacred fire, the light of the world. We gather tonight to await the new light. On this night, the maiden, who is also mother, the crone, prepares to welcome the sun. Now let us prepare to welcome the new light within. I light this fire in your honor, Mother Goddess. You have created life from death, warmth from cold. The sun lives once again. The time of light is waxing. We invite you, Great Mother, to our circle. Bring us new light, the light of your glorious sun. I come to you as maiden, young and free, fresh as springtime, yet within me a yearning stirs to create and share, and so I become the mother. I bring forth the fruit of my creativity. Yet an ancient prophet once told me as I stood with my son, a sword shall pierce through thy own heart also, and I knew that I must become the crone, the ancient wise one, lady of darkness. We three in one who brought forth that special child, as long ago also anointed him for burial. A bright light that grew and was sacrificed to be reborn as a new light. Ancient God of the forest, we welcome you. Return from the shadows, O Lord of light. The wheel has turned. We call you back to warm us. Great God of the sun, I welcome your return. May you shine brightly upon the earth. Yule is the end of the old solar year and the beginning of the new one. Traditionally, the end of the year is a time to look back and reflect. It is a time to look ahead to the future, to make plans and to set goals. On your piece of paper, write something you hope to accomplish during the coming year. When you are finished, attach the slip of paper to the Yule log. We toast the new year. and in token of its promise, we consecrate this sacred wood as a focus for the energies through which we accomplish our tasks and manifest our desires through the coming cycle. You who have died are now reborn. Lend us your light through the winter months as we await the spring. Let us now light the Yule log. Once having burned with the Yule fire, these candles will contain the luck of the log throughout the coming year. There you go, man.
Davóg, that was fantastic. You have a such a soothing voice as well. As you listen to your poetry album as well, and it just whatever it is, you kind of sucks you in and carries you off, and keep doing that, man. It's great. There was
Thank you.
there was no taste of Gangani there maybe coming up, was there? He was kind of keeping in there. He's always lurking in the background.
He's always lurking away and getting
And I love,
yeah.
and I love that in your shows as well. You bring in the burning sage, and you have solid turf and stuff, and you bring in lots of smells and senses.
I think it's something that we've forgotten. We artists have kind of forgotten about that sense. We give music. We create costumes. We visually do things to add to our show. But smells, guys, get with the smells.
Get with the smells, guys. Yeah, exactly. A lot of us have smells, but they're the worst kind of smells.
Smells make people feel good. You know, if you think of just even this time of year, what's the loveliest smell you can have when you walk into a house? It's the smell of soup, for example.
Yes.
This time of year, it's just it's cold outside, and you just fucking smell of soup. There's nothing like
coffee.
That.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. And you're right. People, we can't always bring that into a show, but it's
a bit of turf.
I do a bit of turf. Yeah, they will.
We don't have turf, of course, over here in Europe, so we're I got my mother to send me over a sod of turf.
You did, yeah. And she posted it. She did.
She posted it. She did, of course.
Good woman.
Fair play to her, mighty woman. My father used to sell a sod of turf on eBay. He'll kill me for saying this. He'll kill me for telling
What
this.
did he do? Say that again.
My father, he's a great man. He was an antique dealer for years.
Yeah.
And in 1996, I think he discovered eBay, or eBay discovered him, whatever. He was, for a couple of years, he was like Ireland's best eBay customer, because he went from like antique furniture to smalls, and he was putting it smalls up. There could be books, there could be medals, they could be 1916 related paraphernalia, whatever it is, anything small that would go easy on the post. And he went through a phase of selling sods of turf.
Fantastic. And probably
and you know the way it works on eBay, it's a bid thing. Yeah. So like some fella, some yank brought nostalgia for the old sod. So now I get an old sod of turf. That looks good to me. $5. Another one's on at the same time. I want it $6, $7. He could make $15, $16 on a sod of turf. He was delighted with that.
Yeah, good man. Brilliant. That's a great story.
If he's watching this.
Sure, brilliant stuff. I want to ask you about this next song that I've lined up, Davóg. It's another YouTube thing that I had the great fortune of being able to record at the Music Hampton House in Ghent on your last tour for the RWR Rambles. And Off in the Morning, it was a song written by
Sarah Croker. It's a song written by a Tipperary girl called Sarah Croker, who I became Facebook friends with over the last 2, 3, maybe 4 years. I've never actually met Sarah. Not to our knowledge, we've never actually met. No. But we keep in touch, and this is the magic world of Facebook or social media, at least I find, is these connections that you can have online with people. And myself and Sarah we've been talking about doing this song for the last couple of months, and she gave me the song, delighted that I do it, and I was kind of playing around with it, and up it came all of a sudden, and it's a beautiful song. I love it.
It is a beautiful song. I so do I, and I was so happy that I was able to to record it
Yeah.
at Music Canton House.
It's only recently, and I think that's the first live, it's possibly the first live in front of an audience recording of it you have.
Is it really?
Because I think it's the first time I did it, yeah.
Well, let's give it a burl. Folks, you're listening to the music and the poetry and the words of the great Davóg Rynne here on Raving with Rua. So this, all going to plan, folks, is Davóg Rynne singing Oft in the Morning, written by, did you say?
Sarah Croker.
Sarah Croker. Let's be having you in the stream.
Off with the grain, sailing out on the tide, feeding the master our hunger they hide. Every field is a grave now, no place for a home, nothing to stay for, away we must roam. Macushla, Macushla, Iroiglinanish. They talk of a land that is better than this. Mustorine is tordum the law. Iroiglin margin chickacollig saw. Well, they came in fine clothing, collecting the rent from off of the land that me father had left. Sure, he turned in his grave at the sight of it all. So many are gone now around as they fall. Macushla, Macushla, Iroiglinanish. They talk of a land that is better than this. Mustorine is tordum the law. Iroiglin margin chickacollig saw. As their God turned away now and left us to die, day in and day out as we look to the sky, I'll tell of a ship bound for America. Sure, we'll rise in the morning and set on our way. Macushla, Macushla, Iroiglinanish. They talk of a land that is better than this. Mustorine is tordum the law. Iroiglin margin chickacollig saw. Macushla, Macushla, Iroiglinanish. They talk of a land that is better than this. Mustorine is tordum the law. Iroiglin margin chickacollig saw. Iroiglin margin chickacollig saw.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Maha vocal. What a lovely song, Sarah Croker. That if you're watching, that's a real masterpiece. It really is.
Yeah, I
love that song from the first time I heard it. Yeah. Come here to me. Have you something up your sleeve?
I do actually. Yeah.
Do you want to tell me about it, or do you want to go straight into it?
Another of these wonderful people that I met over the years. Would have come across her daughter first through Facebook, and then her daughter says, "Gosh, you have to meet my mother. She lives only 20 miles down the road from me. She's an Irish woman who's lived in France all her life nearly." And I was like, "Oh, okay, it sounds interesting." So I got in touch with this wonderful woman called Nora Ward, and obviously with a name called Nora Ward, you can't really be mistaken where she's from. Irish born, reared with her sister Rosie in London, at least I think it was London, and married at a very young age of 18. I think she was 18 when she married a Frenchman, and moved to France at 18 years of age and has lived there ever since. She even speaks in English with a little slight French accent. It's quite endearing. A lovely woman and a fantastic poet. So this is one of Nora's poems. It's called Healing. And it is one of those wonderful healing poems. John O'Donoghue, who was another Irish poet who had these poems that would just take you to another place if you're feeling a bit worried or down or sad or grieving or in pain of some kind. Poems have these healing properties that I believe very strongly in.
Absolutely.
I believe very strongly in the power of words, be they spoken words or sung words. Anyway, this is a poem by Nora Ward called Healing. One day, something gentle has to unfold. All the hurting into healing, balm the aching with gentleness. Something as soft as a whisper has to speak wisely the words of the winds, light and wild with freedom, unclinging, ever free to blow and go their way. One day, something waiting for you forever has to catch the way out on the breath of that whisper, sweet and peaceful as a songbird's song. One day, the grasping becomes soft and silent, unfolding the binding balms within that fall in the fall of all the hurting that is now over.
Beautiful. Oh, Van den Nero, and of course, a great tune to match with that poem.
That's right, yeah, exactly. And
Women of Ireland, wow,
it's
beautiful.
quite nice. She's a mighty Irish woman. Fair play to her.
She is. Tell us, you've been coming now to Belgium and Holland
Yeah,
more and more often. Do you find it a different scene up here than you would say in France?
it is. Gosh, it really is. For different reasons. One of the main reasons would be the ability to speak English. In fairness, it's not great down here in France, and I do spend a lot of my time explaining on stage, explaining what the songs are about, trying to set it up en français, which is no problem. Which really is no problem. It just changes the dynamic of the gig.
Of course.
I feel much more free in Belgium and Holland because of that. As an artist on stage, I'm just freed by the constraints of translation.
I hear you. Me too. Yeah, absolutely.
And there is a great appreciation for the songs in Belgium and Holland that I don't really get so much in France. With no disrespect to the French audience at all, but primarily, again, it is because they get really wrapped into the song because they have the language.
Yeah, just a different vibe, I think, and well,
Just a
different culture.
different vibe.
And you said the speaking English part really does help, especially when your show is lyric based as well.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And you've got messages that you want to get across. And I really have tried everything over here, down here in France. I've tried everything from getting the songs translated to putting them out on pieces of paper for the audience to be reading during the concert and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not quite. Yeah, it's not. That's not quite it either. You know.
No.
It's me doing a lot of work without having, and the end result isn't quite that either. Like, you know. Yeah.
exactly.
That's just the way it is, and I really appreciate the Belgian Dutch audiences as well, because they really get folk music. They really do. They really get the old folk music vibe and the messages in folk music. I appreciate their listenership. They're quality listeners. They really are. Quality listeners. Yeah.
Absolutely, so. Listen, we'll wrap it up soon. But I was at a gig in a church not too long ago that you did, and
Yeah.
I think it was a poem by Morris Lennon. Is that Morris Lennon, the musician, or a different Morris Lennon?
That's Morris Lennon, the musician, the fiddle player. You're right.
Fiddle player, Morris Lennon. I was going to ask you on flute. No, he's fiddle.
Fiddle player. He's a fantastic fiddle player, and also a wonderful poet. Morris he's been based out in the States now for a while. I'm not sure where he is at the moment. He had a bit of a health scare there over the last 2 or 3 years. I'm pretty sure he's back he's bounced back from that.
Is that Stockton's Wing? Yeah, no, wasn't he in?
That's the same Morris.
Same Morris.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And tell us about that gig. That was something you were doing for our friend Yoka, wasn't it?
That's right. It was a lovely gig, wasn't it? I really enjoyed it. With the choir, and it's something I love to do. Is go to choirs with a couple of songs. We do a few songs. It's just a lovely moment. There's something very special about being in a group of people that you don't know, that you're not really having a huge connection with either, because there's so many people and there's work to be done. Like, we need to work on the songs, and okay, let's work on this now and over, and you know the way it goes.
Yeah.
And but there's really a wonderful communication that goes on in communal singing like that I love. I love the literal harmonious. There's great harmony in it.
It works really well, yeah. And I just think, again, talking about the blend of cultures, and music being the universal language, I love that too. Where you can stand up with people from any nationality and just sing a song.
Just sing a song, yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. But I'm going to play that before we say goodnight.
Yeah.
Just let me give that a burl. And
do
then we'll come back. Yeah. And we'll come back then, and we'll chat in a second if this goes to plan.
It will.
So, what was it called again?
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah.
Good idea. It was. I think it's called Musical Wonder, I believe.
Musical Wonder. That's it, chat.
Is it Musical Wonder?
It was Musical Wonder.
Let's have a look at and a listen to Musical Wonder.
Look at that. It was a lovely moment, yeah. Lovely moment.
Joyous is the art of music, heart to heart and soul to soul. A special thing happens when you get on a roll. Fiddle or flute or a voice that is gold, when the instrument responds, there is no finer sound in the world. Laughter and dancing filling up the room, melodies colliding as though in a cocoon. Eyes meet each other in a knowing gaze, and somehow there's magic, oh, happy days. Mystery and wonder at every corner, questions being asked from way up yonder, asking yourself over, well, how am I here? This usually only happens but not twice a year. Memories forever of new friends made, in a chorus of singing not even arranged. Humility is all, lest you might just fall and the night will be over, memories and all. To be kind is something that no one can teach you. You either have it or it's just not with you. So, look all around and take it all in with some honest endeavor you surely can win. The spirit of friendship will find its own kind after all. Isn't it all in the mind? Moments to treasure and moments to share. Make sure you remember, if ever you are there, that music is music at the end of the day. Whether you've only just started or have played many's the day. Morning stars rising, time to say goodbye. Until the next time we meet, and the music comes alive.
Wowzers. If that doesn't give you goosebumps,
Yeah.
nothing will. That was a magic moment, absolutely.
It wasn't just, yeah.
It really was, and what beauty from Morris Lennon's pen.
It's a great old poem. I love to finish an evening with that poem. Yeah, it's
Where did you hear it, or where did you come across that?
He another one of these poets, Maris, who just takes poets up every 2 days, 3 days. He's a poem going up on Facebook.
Oh, has he really? He's quite prolific. Wow.
Yeah. As many of the poets that I come across, Dennis Keller is another one. I read a lot of his poems as well. Morris he's a great Jane. It's a great poem. Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely is. Well, look, let's leave it at that for tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I really look forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Apparently, and again was saying that the gig in her house is in a place called Saint Denis. So that's where we are. That's where you are at the end of January anyway. And Leva and again, great girls. Look after you well down there.
Looking forward to it.
Sure will. It's a lovely house concert. I did it myself a few times. Yeah, and a great crowd. And you mention briefly where else you will be at the end of January.
The other one is at Eva's in what's the name of the place? Caesar's Kampf. Okay. But just follow me on Facebook, and I'll be putting it up. I haven't actually done the poster. I usually do a poster of where I'm playing, etc. I'm still hoping to tie down maybe 1 or 2 other dates. It's very late days for it though, but matter not. So I'll hopefully by the end of the year, like, don't you know?
Put you on the spot again. You ready? Pick up that barrel and give us a quick blast. Go. Come on. Up.
Oh. This graveyard hides a million secrets, and the trees they know more than they can tell. The ghosts and the saints and the scholars, they will haunt you in heaven and in hell. We're rattled by the glimmer man, the boogeyman, the holy man. We're living in the shadows of a done man. Rattled by your compass and your grizzy old till. Rattled until time's too still. Look over your shoulder, hear the school bell ring. It's another day made to measure history. I don't care if the heroes on the wings, this terrible beauty has been born. Faithful departed, we them he carted, with graces imparted, bring flowers to thee. Oh, when the girl and the kips never pretended of you, when you struggle in the new year, the children or two, because you on Sundays and holy days when you stayed away, boy. And I stood there naked, I hid your shame, and the shadows on the wall, and took on the blame. The second that picture with compassion in his eyes, it's around on the river of sighs. So let the grass go green of the brew tonight. It'll never come between the darks and the light, and there is no pain that can't be healed by the devil's holy water and road redeemed. Faithful departed, we them he carted, with graces imparted, bring flowers to thee. Your history book I never could write. How do your paralysis to need to recite and bless yourself, everyone, the Bible gonna celebrate tonight. I pretend that feeling like you always meant to watch the sunrise over the strand, close our eyes and we pretend that it'll come and be the same again. Sure, I'll bury you up when the sun was invented. Wanted to gaze at the rain and the stars and sleep and dream of chopping the bars and whiskey in the jar, boy. Said faithful departed. Look what you started. And underdogs' wounds aren't so easy to mend. Faithful departed, there's no broken hearted, no more distress in your world without end. Come on. But this graveyard hides a million secrets, and the trees they know more than they can tell. The ghosts and the saints and the scholars, they will haunt you in heaven and hell. The graveyard hides a million secrets, and the trees they know more than they can tell. The ghosts and the saints and the scholars, they will haunt you in heaven and in heaven and in hell. In heaven and in hell.
Faithful departed. Look what you started. The underdog's wounds aren't so easy to mend. Davóg Rynne, it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight on the show. Couple of farewells and happy Christmas and a happy New Year from Jack there. Thank you for tuning in, Jack. Leva and Anna Geen are saying the same thing very much. Lots of love coming your way from Belgium, sir. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and here's to a happy Christmas, Davóg, and a happy New Year.
Have a good one, folks.
Yes, indeed. I'll see you in Belgium very soon, sir.
Very soon.
Thanks for joining me, all right?
Thanks a million for everything, Johnny.
See you soon, Chief. Slán.
Right.
Right, folks, that was thank you for joining us here on Raving with Rua, episode number 5, and that was the great and wonderful Davóg Rynne, all the way down there, Lyon in France. He battled storms and everything to get to us tonight to do this broadcast. Not enough for me to say except happy Christmas. Have a very happy New Year. I'll be back after Christmas with more Raving with Rua. As always, keep an eye on the YouTube channel. Click the old subscribe button so you don't miss any of the old new videos that come up. You will be able to subscribe there. All the links will be below. Follow Davóg on his Facebook page to get updates about his tours. Never mind that old internet sound. Sometimes it breaks up. Sometimes check out his videos. Check out his music and his poetry, of course, online. He does a great job, and sometimes that old fella Gangani sneaks in there in the background as well for added effect. I'll see you in the new year. Have a very Merry Christmas, everybody. A very Happy New Year, and thanks very much from the Rua Room.